Hi, this is Barry Lewis along with Mike Brown, and welcome to our look ahead at week one of the high school football season. And what a week it's shaping up to be. So many blockbuster matchups. I don't know if there will be a better week of matchups than we have here in week one. Union, Jenks, Broken Arrow against Owasso, Cassia Hall versus Holland Hall, Oklahoma City Douglas at Booker T, Coweta at Wagner, Berry Hill hosting Glenpool.
And don't forget about Cleveland Hominy.
Oh, how can we forget that?
That's a big rivalry that's only been played about 800 times.
Well, let's look at two of the top rivalries. Both of them are rematches of last year's Class 6A semifinals. Before we get to defending champion Union facing Jenks, let's look ahead to Broken Arrow at Owasso on Friday night. And Mike, you got to see Owasso play last week. What was your insight, or what did you get out of that game?
Well, it was a little hard to tell because, as we all know, the Rams don't put all their eggs in that basket. They played a good Springdale team, Springdale Harbor, and they showed some real flash on offense. Jalen Lowe looks like he's going to be terrific in his first year as a starting quarterback, and I think that they have some big play potential on defense, although I think they've got to shore it up a little. And I'm going to be out there Friday night, looking forward to seeing that game.
I saw Broken Arrow last week at the Jenks preview, and Broken Arrow coach Steve Spavital was a little disappointed in his offense. I expect they'll be a lot better against Owasso on Friday night. A very interesting storyline is that Broken Arrow starting quarterback Coleman Key played for Owasso last year. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares against his former teammates. And looking ahead to the Mid-First Backyard Bowl at Chapman Stadium on Friday night, Union Jenks. Do we need to say more? The teams have combined for the last 16 state titles.
Oh, I don't think you can say anything more. It's an interesting rivalry because it's one of the younger rivalries that is utterly huge, and as I was sharing with you guys, it's the only one that I know where the teams play twice almost every year. I think I counted it up, and they've met 10 times in the playoffs since 1998. So, and it always decides a lot. I mean, they've played in the final 5, 6, 7, 8 times. 8 times in that time that they were sharing the 16 state titles.
I'm looking for it to be a very high-scoring game. Each team has a lot of offensive weapons, a lot of outstanding receiving talent on the field that night. You've got 3 major college commits among the receivers. For Jenks, OU commit Jordan Smallwood, and for Union, TU commits Chris Hall and Khalid Cornegay. So that'll be interesting to watch, and a very good quarterback matchup between Jenks' Kyle Alexander and Union's Hunter Ataya. Mike, what other matchups intrigue you this week?
Well, obviously the Wagner Coweta game will be exciting, and Cassia Hall and Holland Hall play for the 45th time. Both of those are big rivalries. Cassia Hall Holland Hall game has been played on the first week of the regular season every year since 1998. Wagner and Coweta, what needs to be the 2 biggest schools in Wagner County, and they're always fired up for that one.
Wagner and Coweta went down to the final seconds last year before Wagner won, and that sort of set the tone for their state championship season. 2 games that intrigue me this week are Edison versus Hale and Okmulgee versus Rogers. None of those teams won a varsity game last year. So 2 of those teams are going to be very happy with their first varsity wins since since at least 2010. I think for Rogers it would go back even further than that. So whichever teams are going to prevail in those matchups, it's going to see some real celebration. So it's going to be nice to see some of those teams have success.
Another interesting game, Memorial plays Central. Memorial hasn't had a winning season for quite a while, but probably has their best collection of athletes that they've had. Certainly in the current regime. And Central was an explosive team last year. Memorial looks to be potentially explosive this year. Could be a lot of fast guys on the field Friday night.
I really like Central's D'Angelo Brewer. He's an outstanding talent, and Novus Cullum is from Memorial as well. For Mike Brown, this is Barry Lewis. Thanks for joining us, and join us again next week as we look ahead to week 2 of the action and look back at the results from this week.